This is Steve Koleno, and these are confidential remarks. What I'm about to share isn't a typical sales presentation. It's not motivational, and it's not a playbook filled with tricks. This is the honest conversation that usually happens behind closed doors. We're going to talk about what's actually broken, what's clearly changing, and what truly matters now. So as you listen, don't think of this as theory. Think of it as reality, spoken out loud. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people in sales don't actually enjoy the work. And deep down, most know it. The system teaches people to escape the role, not master it. Make enough calls so you can stop calling. Close enough deals so you can stop selling. Build a team so you don't have to do the work anymore. But that's not leadership. That's survival. It's a system designed to get away from the very thing you were hired to do. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think the problem is mindset. It's not. If your success depends on constantly bothering strangers until one finally says yes, the issue isn't you. The issue is the model. When people are trying to escape selling, that's not a motivation problem. It's a broken system. And when sales becomes about extracting value instead of creating it, trust disappears. Scripts might get responses, but they don't build loyalty. And without trust, nothing lasts. There was a time when salespeople had the advantage because they controlled the information. That's over. Today, buyers walk into conversations already informed. They know pricing, competitors, reviews, and product details before you even speak. So when you use old tactics like urgency or pressure, it doesn't feel persuasive. It feels desperate. The power has shifted. And if your approach hasn't shifted with it, you're already behind. Today's buyer is different in 3 important ways. First, they're informed. They've already done their research. Second, they're skeptical. Years of aggressive marketing have made them cautious. And third, they're done. Old tricks don't work anymore. They annoy people. Buyers recognize patterns instantly. When they feel pressured, they don't lean in. They pull away. And that changes everything about how you need to show up. The old playbook was built on volume and control. More calls, more scripts, more pressure. It assumed the customer didn't know much and could be guided or pushed into a decision. But that world doesn't exist anymore. These methods didn't just rely on effort, they relied on imbalance. And without that imbalance, they fall apart. What used to work now signals something else entirely, a lack of value. The new reality is simple, but it requires a shift. Instead of leading with pressure, you lead with value. Instead of scripted conversations, you have real ones. Instead of pushing solutions, you diagnose problems. You educate, you share openly, and you help people make decisions, even if it doesn't benefit you immediately. Because trust isn't something you can force. It's something you earn over time. What we're seeing right now is a transition. Old high-pressure models are fading out. Organizations are struggling to adapt, and that creates friction. But on the other side of that transition is a new advantage. The people who win will be the ones who position themselves as trusted advisors, not sellers, advisors. Because in a world full of noise, trust becomes the differentiator. This shift comes down to 3 simple changes. Interrupt less. Instead of chasing attention, attract it by creating value. Listen more. Replace scripted pitches with real conversations where you actually understand the problem. And educate always. Become the person people learn from, not the person they avoid. When you do that, the relationship comes first, and the transaction follows. The professionals who succeed moving forward won't be the loudest or the most aggressive. They'll be the most valuable. They'll build expertise people respect, a reputation people trust, a network they genuinely support, and an offer that speaks for itself. They won't chase attention. They'll earn it, and that's a completely different game. This isn't about becoming an influencer or building a personal brand for attention. It's about becoming someone worth choosing. Can you solve real problems? Do people refer you without being asked? Does your success actually align with your client's success? This approach takes longer. It's harder to measure in the short term, but it builds something real, something sustainable. If you're leading a team, this is your responsibility. The question isn't whether your team is working hard. It's whether the system they're working in still makes sense. Are you training people to interrupt or to add value? Are you measuring activity or real outcomes? Are you rewarding volume or impact? Because if the model is broken, Effort won't fix it. This is where you take action. First, audit your model honestly. Does it match how people actually buy today? Second, pay attention to turnover. High attrition isn't random, it's a signal. And third, measure what really matters. Not just activity, but relationships, trust, and outcomes. Because if you keep celebrating hustle over value, nothing will truly change. This conversation isn't new. It's just rarely said out loud. The methods that built careers years ago are now working against them. You can ignore that, or you can recognize the pattern early. Because this shift isn't coming. It's already here. And the people who see it first are the ones who adapt fastest. The professionals who succeed won't be the loudest or the pushiest. They'll be the ones who stopped trying to sell and started building something worth choosing. That's the shift. That's the opportunity. And that's the future. This has been Confidential Remarks.